Hello, everybody, and welcome to our extended disc mini webinar today. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. My name is Christina, and let me just make sure we got everyone. We are doing a webinar today on delivering disc during COVID-19, very relevant. My name is Christina Bowser. I'm the training director here at Extended Disc. And joining me today is my colleague, Marku Kaupinen, president of Extended Disc. Welcome, Marku.
Hi, Christina. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, as you guys can all see, we have now turned our cameras on. We're all officing at home, so we're kind of living and breathing this all with all of you out there. As always, we are recording this webinar and we'll have it on our website as soon as possible in case you miss any of it or you want to share or review it later. As always with our kind of our brief webinars, we don't have time for live questions, but we encourage you to put them in the Q&A section. And I just have a very, well, let's just go ahead and get started. So Marku, we're talking about a very kind of hot topic. I mean, it's a crazy topic right now, and there's a lot of unique challenges to us as disc trainers. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to make it's of course important that hopefully everybody's doing well, everybody's safe. Challenging times, but as always, as a country, as a nation, as a world, we'll come through this. So we're just going to have a couple of months that are going to be challenging, and it creates obviously unique challenges, Christina, like you said, that how do we continue to really engage and motivate our employees, continue to train and develop them, because when we come out of this, things will be different and everybody needs to be ready to deal with those challenges. And while it's obviously very upsetting and scary, it's also a time when leaders lead, and it's time for us to really see what we can do to make sure we are making sure that our employees are ready when we come out of this.
So what we just kind of wanted to provide to you today is just the biggest takeaway from this webinar is that we are here to support you in your DISC training, and you know, how you deliver it, you know, what experience you've already had, whether you need technical support, whether you need trainer support. That's the main takeaway. So what I wanted to do with today is just to give you some tips and some kind of suggestions based on my own experience and our trainers' experiences here in delivering DISC virtually, because we've been doing it for quite a while now. So hopefully our experiences can be shared with some of you.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway here from Lee is that we've been doing this, Kristen, as you know, for 15 years. We've been training our clients virtually for at least 15 years. So certainly technology has changed and how we can really make it more effective and what the best practices are. But the main takeaway from this webinar is this: if there's anything we can do to help you to make your life easier and your training more effective, please contact us, because we have a lot of resources based on our experience, what we have learned, the mistakes we made that we don't want to make. There's a lot of things we can share with you. And I think that is the key takeaway from this, Christina, would you agree?
Absolutely. So I just wanted to give you a couple basic tips. Before I do that, you know, one of the assumptions we always make when we're doing our kind of DISC trainer type webinars is that you have kind of the solid foundation of being a trainer. So, you know, you guys train more than we do in many different things. So the assumption here is how we can help you is obviously from the DISC perspective. Now I'm going to pop this up. Marku didn't even know about it, but I'm just going to surprise everybody, and I'm going to try my first poll here. So it's just a very quick poll. All you have to do is just to answer. The question is, have you ever done a DISC virtual training or a DISC coaching session before? You know, most of us have done it. Some of us haven't done it, but now we're rising to the challenge of doing it. So Wow, look at those numbers. Okay, so some of you have done it, very impressed. About a third of you have done it, and about 2/3 of you are going to do it or plan on doing it. So, share your knowledge. Any questions you have, put in the Q&A section. Any suggestions you have, also put in the Q&A section. We can share that with everybody at the end. So thank you guys all for participating in the poll. And the poll, like I said, about a third of you have, about 2/3 of you are planning to. So with the basic tips, obviously the ones, a lot of these are so applicable, not just in a virtual setting, but in a, live classroom setting. So knowing your materials, you guys, I'm sure have got that, review your materials, think about, how to adapt your materials to a virtual setting. And maybe we can give you some tips today on that. Also, how DISC can really help you as a trainer get to know your audience is that your participants have taken the extended DISC questionnaire. And what's great about it is they don't have to take another one for you to generate what we call the team name map report. And I always generate a name map report for my participants anytime I have the opportunity, because it gives me a kind of a big picture view of what my audience is going to be like. So if I have someone, if I know my group is going to be maybe more S's and C styles, the more reserved styles, it just kind of reminds myself, hey, Christina, just take it down a notch, give more opportunity for questions. If I have maybe a more task-oriented style, focus more on tasks, give a little bit more data. So really use DISC yourself to kind of get yourself prepared for the session.
Very true. And what I'm learning, because I'm in my 50s, which makes me very ancient when it comes to technology like this. But while this transition has really forced me to get out of my comfort zone, my routines of communicating with our prospects, our clients, our employees, it really has been kind of a good experience in a way that this is actually, the technology is pretty amazing these days, what you can do with this. But the reality is that when we are doing the things that we are trying to do every day in our works as facilitators, as business owners, as managers, as employees, the fundamentals remain the same.
Exactly.
It's using different kind of technology. So the good news is this: we can continue to use our good habits. Only thing we have to do is adjust a little bit. And in the beginning, I think the biggest challenge is to get out of our comfort zone of delivering the training using different technology. And I certainly have, and Christina, sorry if you have been dealing with this for a couple of days now. Hey, let's get more comfortable with the Zoom and all this.
Yeah.
But actually, once you get comfortable with it, it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
And actually, it's extremely efficient and effective. And I found that I've been able to accomplish so much more by using this wonderful technology. But you're so right. We need to continue to use our fundamentals in terms of how we are able to deliver effective training, which really what we are always doing. And I think that beyond the training and development, what we need to do is make sure that we are committing to our employees that, hey, we are still here to help you develop. We want you to continue to improve, not only in your professional lives, but in your personal lives as well. And I think that gives people a sense of routine and comfort that I think we need so much right now.
And then, just to piggyback on what Marku was saying about technology is, there are so many options out there in terms of, how to deliver your training. So from a trainer standpoint, the only thing that I would highly suggest to you is do the tutorials, practice ahead of time. So all those glitches that will come up, and they will, don't cause us undue stress, because when we're stressed, what happens to us? our natural style. Yes. So
yeah, in the sense of transparency, I'll tell Christina, usually we get together about 3 minutes before the webinar begins. Christina, today, 30 minutes before, I want to help me and you help me as well to get out of my comfort zone. And actually, this is kind of a nice way to deliver a webinar. I like this.
There you go. So in reinventing the wheel, you know, our philosophy here is, as you guys have gone through a lot of our webinars, is the 4 steps to effective, well, in this case, disc sessions. Don't reinvent the wheel. You've got a great foundation. Not only that, we have laid foundations for you. So sometimes it takes some adaptation, like how do I make it more interactive? And we'll give you some suggestions and tips on how to do that. And of course, with any disc training session, you always want to follow up. The great news is, just with a live session, your participants not only you know, are they excited to learn more about themselves, but we're all kind of in the same situation right now. So we're, you know, we tend to be much more forgiving and optimistic, but don't forget to follow up, because when things get kind of hectic, we forget about practicing discs. So that's just as important of a component, and we'll give you some suggestions for following up your virtual trainings.
Yeah, so very true. And we always talk about this, and not only in our webinars, but all of our materials, is that DISC really talks about how we are doing things. And especially under pressure and stress, like Christina just mentioned, this is really how our style will really show up. And I think if you really pay attention to what's happening in the circle of your family and friends and your coworkers, you are really going to see those natural and behavioral styles really come out, because that is everybody's strength, and that is the strength that we are going to use. Now, the flip side of that is that, of course, when we are stressed, we find it more difficult to modify our behavioral style. But like we've been talking about here, we are getting our comfort zone, and when we prepare and practice, actually when we do it, we'll find it's not that difficult, and actually that will boost our confidence and makes us more effective in delivering, in this case, what we're talking about, delivering this training online using technology that is available to us.
So here are just a couple suggestions. You know, whether we deliver it one-on-one, which many of us do, or whether we deliver it to kind of a group session, we've developed a how-to guide, you know, and that's available. You can email info@extendeddisc.org. It will show you the slide with the email address at the end of the training. We also have kind of a quicker tips for delivering disc training. It'll talk about, like, when should I send out the reports to my participants? How do I debrief one-on-one to a participant? Should I send them a report ahead of time, you know, or should I just kind of pull it up on screen? So there's a lot of suggestions there about how not only to prepare, but also how to do it live and what to do with it after. What's great about, you know, any types of reports that you use is that there's no additional cost for you to generate different types of reports. So one of the things I highly encourage you guys to use is the reinforcement reports. And what's great is, you know, once your clients have taken the DISC assessment, you can go back in your database and you can run these standalone workbooks. Essentially, they're designed to kind of reinforce what they've already learned from you in the DISC session. So the DISC session itself, how do we kind of set up these DISC sessions? Let me just kind of give you some examples. So one of the things that we've worked hardest on is to create this DISC training toolbox. And in this DISC training toolbox, there are 4 tools. And you can see here, they are based on our 4 steps to effective DISC workshops. And if you hear us talk about all the time, we've broken them into 4 components: understanding DISC styles, understanding our own style, maybe when you're ready to deliver the DISC assessment itself, identifying styles of others, which is critical for us to be able to get to the actual implementation or the application piece of DISC, is adjusting our styles for success. Because no matter how excited we get about it, no matter how much we understand it, if we don't use it, then it really isn't going to make us more successful. And what's great about each of these modules is that we have the PowerPoint, we've built it for you, you now have the template. I even put in some facilitator notes and tips for you in there. We also have agendas. with timing to kind of help you guide your first kind of run through. And then of course, built into it, we have those exercises that we ourselves have used successfully in online trainings. We have kind of interactive activities that help you work through the report itself. So there's kind of, these are all available to our active clients of extended DIPS. Anything you want to add, Markku?
No, I think you covered really well. So the bottom line is this: we have the materials, we have the experience, and we have a staff of senior facilitators who are here to help you. I realize these are tough times. You face many challenges, not only at work, but of course, more importantly, at home. And just know that we will continue to go through this. Let us know how we can help. We'll continue to have webinars that are relevant to these topics. Next week, we'll talk about how to use extended DISC in virtual employee settings, because obviously a lot of ours, we should be doing this and hopefully are doing this. We can share those kind of tools and support that we have available. As always, please go into extendeddisc.org. On the right top toolbar, you'll find events page and you will see all of the upcoming webinars. Even if you can't make the date and time, please register, because we will send you the recording after the webinar. And most importantly, please stay healthy, be safe. Hope you are doing well. Hope your family is doing well.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us today.